a little better, but I think you can do better than that. Ready? One more time. Good morning. Okay, we're getting better. We're getting better. We'll test you in a little bit. Guys, I want to welcome you to our job expo, our career expo. This is a great opportunity for all of you high school students. I'm Rogelio Ramos. I'm Executive Director for the Workforce Solutions for South Texas. Thank you. How many of you guys have heard of Workforce Solutions for South Texas before today? Okay, I see some hands up there. I want you guys to get real familiar with us because we can be the connection for you once you're looking to find a job, find a career, or even when you're going to pursue college after high school. We can help guide you with some of those resources also. So get to know the people who Workforce Solutions. I want to recognize all the schools that are here, and we want to see, of course, like we always do, who's the loudest and the proudest. Okay, so I'm going to go down the list, and we want to hear you guys. And remember, it doesn't matter the size of the school, it just matters how much heart you have and how proud you can be. So I'm going to go down the line here and in a random order, I'm going to see who's the loudest. Okay, we're going to start with Garcia, Early College High School. Okay, what do y'all think? Garcia, Early College High School. Good, good. Now, a few years ago, very few years ago, I was in one of those seats as a high school senior. I'm not going to tell you how many years ago, but it was a long time ago. I'm not going to say what high school I graduated from, but I hope that with a little hint they can figure it out, and let's see how loud they are. The other day I cut myself and I was bleeding green and gold. All right, Nixon High School. Okay, now let's see Bruni High School. Bruni. United South. Way to go, guys. Well, again, I want to welcome you on behalf of Workforce Solutions. We haven't been able to have these type of events for a couple of years, but we are very excited to have you back here, and we're very excited to have all these businesses back here that you all get to talk to and find out what type of careers, what kind of jobs that are out there. I hope that you're able to talk to the employers and ask them, what should I be doing if I want to go to be a barber, if I want to work in that field, if I want to go to the Army, if I want to be a banker, what should I be studying? What type of courses should I be taking? How can I prepare myself? This is your chance, guys, to talk to the employers and find out what they're looking for when they're looking to hire people. So feel free, and I hope that you do feel comfortable talking to them and asking them that. You guys, again, it's a very good opportunity for you high school students that are able to talk to and meet with the employers in person again. Like I said, we hadn't done it in a while, but it's always really important that you get a chance to talk to them and ask them what you should be doing. How many of you out there already have an idea of what you're going to do after you graduate from high school? Anybody want to volunteer and tell me what they're thinking? All right, well, the good thing is, guys, that I did see a lot of hands. A lot of you already know, have an idea, but some of you don't. Like I said, it was a few years ago that I was a senior out there. When I was a senior, I didn't know what I was going to do. I had no idea. I did choose to continue going on to college, and I chose to go to college here and then continue my education. But again, there are just so many things you can do now. There are so many opportunities, and we're seeing a lot of jobs again here in Laredo, a lot of good paying jobs, career jobs that are available for you guys, for the labor force that's coming in to help all these businesses grow. I want to thank some of the businesses that are here, some of the businesses that are going to be talking to you or have already spoken to you. We have, and feel free to clap for them, we have Best Buy, the Geek Squad. Casa Reptile, I think that's around here somewhere. Casa Reptile. Charlie Clark Hyundai. We have the City of Laredo, Human Resources here, guys. Right. Critter Care. Falcon Bank. We have the Laredo Fire Department. We have Gateway. Gold's Gym. Guerra Communications. We have HEB. Judge Roberto Quintana. We have KGNS. Laredo Animal Shelter. We have Laredo College. Laredo Safari and Adventure Park. Our Sheriff Martin Cuella. Mercy Kids Rehab. Neighbor Works Laredo. PAM Transport. Planet Dental. Quarter Mile. South Texas Training. Target. Texas Department of Transportation. The Barber Education Academy. The United States Air Force. United States Army. U.S. Customs and Border Protection. United States Border Patrol. The U.S. Marines. Webb County Constable, Precinct 2. Webb County Constable, Precinct 4. So again, guys, those are the majority of the businesses. I hope you have a chance to talk to them. Let me try one more time. The one that got the loudest. Target. So I want to try one last thing before we bring in our keynote speaker. I know as high school students, you all have a lot of ánimo, you have a lot of energy, you're already ready to go. We're going to try a wave. We're going to start a wave over here where Alexander is, and then we're going to work it around, and then work it back. Everybody knows how to do a wave, right? Yes? Okay. We're going to start at the count of 3 with Alexander. 1, 2, 3. Wave! There we go, there we go! Bring it back, it's not dying, let's go! All right, we got you energized and ready to go. You guys are in for a special treat today. You get to hear Mr. Rogelio Ramos, Michael Gallo, Rogelio Ramos. Mr. Ramos was born here in Laredo, Texas, on September the 9th. He was raised alternating between Mexico and the United States. He is bilingual. He got his start in broadcasting at the age of 16, working in Stereo 91. At the age of 20, he became a sports anchor and worked with Univision and Telemundo. All right, let's hear it for them. Univision and Telemundo. Mr. Ramos was discovered by a talent agent and transitioning to acting. He now lives in Hollywood, California, and he's participated in many films and TV shows, including blockbuster films like Spider-Man 3, Sex and the City, the movie, and shows like Dynasty, HBO, Silicon Valley, The Queen of the South, and many other shows. Guys, let's show Mr.
Good morning. How's everybody? Well, before I begin, I would like to thank Mr. Rogelio, my Tocayo, Executive Director, of course, Patricia Barrera, and Melba Castillo for inviting me to participate in this year's Career Expo. So allow me to introduce myself, although Mr. Trevino already kind of did for me. My name is Rogelio Ramos Gomez, and I am a professional working actor in Hollywood, California. Thank you. Today's a very special day for me, and it is truly an honor to have been invited to speak because 18 years ago, time flies, wow, when I decided to try my luck as an actor in the mecca of the film industry, I hoped and I dreamed that one day I would have achieved enough in my career to make my friends, my family, my community, even myself proud a little bit, and earn the right to come back here as somebody who follows his dreams and achieves his goals. So thank you again for inviting me and helping me realize one of my life goals, and thank you for listening to my story. All right, so this talk, let's call it a conversation because I would like to chat with you guys later if you have any questions. Isn't by any means only for those who are interested in being actors or following a career in the arts, but for everyone, regardless of what interests and passions that you may have. All of them are just as valid and important. So I'm going to share my story, and I hope it doesn't come across as presumptions because there is a point to this conversation. And I truly hope that the lessons I've learned along the way will serve you as they have served me in my life. Everyone's story is different and unique. But my life experience, as subjective as it is, has shown me a very interesting pattern that points to what many old philosophies and schools of thought, even religions, have talked about for hundreds of years. I'm talking about the power of intention and visualization. Something that helped me greatly in my career, and I didn't even know that I was blind in my life. I mean, I really didn't think at one point that I was one of the luckiest people that I knew, but in reality, what was happening is that I was creating my own luck all along. Well, let's take it back a little bit and start with my story. Like Mr. Trevino said, I was born here in Laredo in the old Mercy Hospital. I lived here a little bit, but I also grew up across in Nuevo Laredo. And the fact that I was raised bicultural and bilingual eventually proved to be essential in finding my way, surviving and ultimately thriving as an actor in Los Angeles, where I still reside. So I encourage every one of you, from the bottom of my heart, really, embrace the fact that you're bicultural. Be very proud of your roots, and if possible, practice your Spanish as much as your English because it will come in handy in your life. Trust me on this. Anyway, I love to tell you that I was a really good boy, that I was a good student, but nothing could be further from the truth. I was expelled from 2 or 3 schools, I think. I was a handful, and after being in constant fights, and I was always very rebellious, I was in kindergarten at the Christ the King. Kindergarten is still around, Christ the King. Well, okay, it was a non-school, and at one point they told my parents, look, Mr. and Mrs. Ramos, your boy needs professional help. You have to take him to a shrink because there's something wrong with it, right? So they did, and they discovered that I had ADD, which explained a lot. And needless to say, it was really difficult for my parents, for my teachers, and for myself. And I was always like the black sheep. You know, I was very misunderstood. So if any of you feel out of place, you feel different, or you feel misunderstood, at this moment, just know that you will eventually find yourself, and you will find your way, because if I can, you definitely will too. All right? Luckily, I was blessed to be in a very loving and patient family who was also into the arts. My father, he was a dentist, but he played guitar a lot, and he loved movies. That was his thing. That was the thing that kind of got us together, always watching movies. So by the time I was 10, I knew all the great actors of the era were, Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, Meryl Streep, you name them. And of course, the great directors, Scorsese, and Spielberg, and Francis Ford Coppola. And my father would rent the Godfather movies every year. Have you seen the Godfather movies? So if you see them, you know that they're like 3 hours long each. And we would watch them every single year. Not that I mind, I actually like them. But, well, that planted a little seed in me, obviously. On my mother's side of the family, they were also into the arts. My grandfather was a composer when he was younger. And we grew up with all these famous people in the house all the time. And we would have get-togethers that would end in noches bohemias. Singing, telling jokes, poetry. So artistic expression was not only appreciated, but it was encouraged. As you know, back then, here in Laredo, there weren't as many opportunities as you guys have right now to follow the arts. So the closest thing that I could do was manage communications. I started with radio in the state of Laredo. I knocked on their door, they gave me a chance, and a few years later, I auditioned for the first Spanish TV station that had a Spanish news show, and I got the sports section. When I was on radio, I was like 16, and I wasn't very good at it. I would mess up a lot, and when I would mess up, thousands of people will hear it. It wasn't just the people in the station, it was thousands of people. But I would push through the embarrassing moments and try to learn from them, just continue, right? I think as children, all of us have dreams that we may be something special when we grow up. In my case, it was, of course, being an actor. And I would daydream a lot. But you see, those daydreams were very, very specific. One of them was that I would be sitting one day in the very back of a theater, in the corner, watching people watching my work. That was a big one. And the other one that I would fantasize a lot about was that one day I would be in a Blockbuster box in the new releases. I was at Blockbuster all the time, and a lot of late fees, always. But I mean, how could I achieve that? Where would I even begin? This really seemed like such an impossibility. But well, I finally moved to San Antonio, to Telemundo, and this is when things started taking a very strange and interesting turn that ended up being the rest of my life. When they gave me my desk, in the desk there was a catalog of a local talent agency. I didn't even know that San Antonio had talent agencies. It's not a market for acting. It was like 2. And I was like, wow, maybe I should give it a call. I don't know, maybe I can do commercials or something. Anything if it's related to acting, right? But acting, news is very hectic, and you have to get the 5 o'clock newscast ready. Then take a break, then go run and cover the football games and cover the Spurs and come back and edit the videos and write the stories and go live again at 10 p.m. So I never had time. And I would forget, right? But anyway, the keyword, the intention was always there. I would find it occasionally. I gotta call them, I gotta call them, I gotta call them, right? 2 years went by, and I never called them. But around the year 2000, when I was working there, I had an alphanumeric pager. That's how old we are, little beeper. And they would send me texts through the computer. Only the station had the number, right? So one day in the morning, the beeper goes off. And it was an unknown number. And I'm thinking, who the hell is this? Who's got my number? Well, I answer the phone, or I actually call them, and I get, hi, this is Peggy with Conrock Artista Talent Agency. It was the same agency that I had the catalog for. They dialed the wrong number and called my pager. I mean, the odds of that happening are like astronomical. It was just crazy. So they were looking for some kid's dad to sign a waiver so the son could, do a TV commercial. So they hung up on me immediately. And I called them right back. No, you don't understand. I know who you guys are. And I've been wanting to talk to you guys for the longest time. Well, they hung up on me. Like, no, please. I called back. I want to be represented by you. I have some experience in television and radio. They're like, yeah, well, send us your stuff. And I did. And they called me a few days later and they said, oh, well, welcome, we're going to sign you. They signed me. A few days later, I had my first tape audition at the office. And then I got a call a few days later, Rogelio, congratulations. You have a callback on your first audition. Oh, wow, thank you so much. What's a callback? I didn't even know what that meant. That's how green I was. So I went to Dallas and I met with the director and everything, and I got the part. There were some studios called Las Colinas Studios, which are professional but small, but for me, that was Hollywood. And when I saw my name in the dressing room, Rogelio Ramos, I was sold. There was a star behind it. I was sold. So I quit my job, I went back to Laredo, and for 2 years I lived with my mom and just all over Texas, looking for any auditions that I could find and trying to work my way up there. At one point in 2005, my agent calls me and she says, look, there's this young director. He's never directed anything. He wants to do a film. He can't pay you. Would you like to try doing some drama? Sure. So I did, and we did a whole movie for $10,000, which is nothing. That year, I enrolled in an acting school, a very famous one, in Los Angeles. I saved enough money doing my little commercials just for the summer. I wasn't going to stay there. I was like, why? Nobody's going to pay attention to me in LA. But while I was there, I said, I'll give it a shot, right? So I stayed, and this is when everything started happening. It happened so fast that I couldn't believe it. The next thing you know, I'm in a national commercial. I got a co-star in The Shield. I'm doing a movie with Maria Conchita also. And at that point, I was homeless. I was couch surfing and sleeping in my car. I went to a mall to see the flat screen TVs. Back then, they were brand new. They were plasma TVs. I couldn't afford one, and I didn't even have a place to put it if I bought one. But I looked at it, and they were showing Spider-Man 2. If you remember that scene where he stops the train with the whips, remember that? And I remember watching that, and I went back into that dream mode for a second, and I imagined to myself, wow, what would it take to have a scene like that in Spider-Man when they gave him his mask back, and they're like, we got you, Spider-Man, and I was like, what would it take? And I got lost in that moment a little bit again. That was it. Soon after, by the way, I was sleeping in the couch of a relative of mine. Who've heard of director Alfonso Gomez, the famous director from Laredo? Yeah, award nominated and everything. He was also starting out, and I was scratching at his couch, and he tells me, wait a minute, Rogelio, you don't just move to LA, and in 3 or 4 months, you're a TV show, we're doing this and doing that. This doesn't happen. I've got to tell a friend of mine about you. She was Francine Mason, one of the biggest casting directors in Hollywood. So I got a call from her office. They call me in, they interview me, and they say, when you come next week, we want you to read for Spider-Man 3. Well, this is insane to me. So I went back, and I remember that shirt was all, wrinkled. I was so nervous, I was shaking, and I was running this huge corridor at the GD, Stewart building at Sony Studios. And then I stopped for a second, and I just closed my eyes and I said, hey man, you got this. You got this. This is easy. You can do this. I went, I auditioned, never thinking they were going to call me. And they did it. Time went by. And then remember that short film I told you about that I did, that film I did earlier that year? I get a call from the director. He says, Rogelio, we got into the Sundance Film Festival. For those who don't know that, that is a huge deal. It's like the biggest independent film festival in the world. And the day before we take off to that festival, I get a call from President Masler's office. Congratulations, Sam Raimi, the director of the Spider-Man trilogy, the first one. They want you to play the ER doctor in the movie. And I literally, when I hung up, I was next to a cousin of mine, I fell to my knees. He was like, what's wrong? I said, I got a part of Spider-Man. I couldn't believe it, right? The festival was like a dream also. Here you go. Next thing you know, I'm hanging out with all these famous actors that I grew up watching. And I couldn't believe it, right? So finally, they're going to show our film. I'm in this bistro across the street. I'm freaking out because John Malkovich is in the next table. And when everybody goes into the movie theater, finally they call us and go, come on guys, it's time for you guys to sit. And I sit all the way in the back, in the corner. And as the movie started, it hit me. Have you ever had a feeling of deja vu? This was like the strongest deja vu you could ever feel. I had chills going down my spine because I was sitting exactly in the corner, all the way in the back, that I always saw when I was a kid. And I remember I gasped. And my friend next to me says, what's wrong? I said, I've seen this before. I've been here before. I've seen this so many times. I just couldn't believe it, And a few days later, a few months later, I get a call from a friend that says, what the hell are you doing in Blockbuster? I went to 4 different Blockbusters the next day. And my movie was in all of them. It was in all of them. So you think, wow, everything is flowing. Everything is happening. Things are going to be great forever, right? Wrong. One day after doing a monologue in one of my acting classes, one of the teachers tells me, what did you used to do before you were an actor? I said, oh, I was a journalist. And he says, I think it's too late for you. I don't think I can teach you acting. That is devastating. That crushed me. Suddenly I doubt myself, right? And that came through in my work. I didn't have that confidence that I had anymore. I went from coach to coach, school to school, and the more I studied, the more insecure I felt about myself. And for years, I felt like that, and I plateaued. My career wouldn't get any better. But then I had a breakthrough. I was coming out of an audition and bumped into a casting assistant who was a friend of mine. I says, how'd it go? I said, I hope that it went fine. She said, okay, what are you talking about? Did you know that the commercial casting directors have a little star next to your name because you're one of the top of the industry? And it clicked. All I needed was just to hear something like that. And immediately my career bounced right back. And I started working more and more gigs and better paid projects than I ever did before. All I needed was to believe in myself. It makes all the difference in the world. Here's a few quotes that I would like to share with you. A couple are from Bruce Lee. Don't fear failure. Not failure, but low aim is the crime. In great attempts, it is glorious even to fail. Another one, don't speak negatively about yourself, even as a joke. Your body doesn't know the difference. Words are energy and cast spells. That's why it's called spelling. Change the way you speak about yourself, and you can change your life. All of this that I've shared with you today is so you hopefully see that some of the most powerful tools you can apply in your life are intention and visualization. But visualization alone is not enough. You have to actually feel what you're visualizing. It is the emotion tied to the visualization that makes the difference. And of course, it is important to understand that intention without action will bear very little fruit. I know it's easier said than done. I know this. But from the bottom of my heart, I tell you to believe in yourself, to have a plan and act at it with passion, conviction, and faith. Of course, there are no guarantees in life, but remember, those who never try will fail 100% of the time. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Now, if you guys have any questions, anything you'd like to talk about, I'm open to questions. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Rogelio. Let's give him another round of applause, guys. So that just goes to show, guys, dreams do come true. And he's from Laredo, and how successful he is because he followed his dreams. I'm gonna get Miss Patti Barrera. Please come over here. Put her on the spot. Guys, Patti Barrera is the project manager. She runs all the services at Workforce Solutions for South Texas. I want you to get to take a look, meet her. If you have a chance, as I mentioned, the staff at Workforce Solutions is here to help you find your job. And if you're interested in pursuing some sort of training, we can also help you with that. Now, I want to recognize all of Patti's staff. I know they're all over the place. And most of them are wearing blue and black pants. If you can stand up, Workforce staff, wherever you're at, come out here. Please move out and be recognized. Wherever they are over there. We've got some staff here. I know we've got some Workforce Solutions board staff. Please stand up. Berta Millan, Adriana Vela. These two ladies do all the work at my office, and they're the ones that make me look good, and they do all the work. So thank you guys for everything you do. Again, I want to thank all the Workforce staff for putting this together, guys. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of coordination to make it happen and to make it easy for you all to meet the employers. Okay, we still have about an hour, so we're going to give you guys an opportunity to go back